The war room fell silent. Dozens of alien officers, creatures bred for conquest, stared at the lone human woman standing in the center. Her eyes burned with quiet rage, her hands trembling not from fear, but from memory. The alien general leaned forward, voice cold and mocking. "Who is she?" The woman smiled. A soft, dangerous smile. "I'm his sister, and your death." And that was the moment every sensor lit red. The room's gravity flickered. Outside, orbit shook. Humanity had just made its answer known. And it wasn't mercy. If that line gave you chills, you're in the right place. Welcome to another Humanity&AlienWars moment, where humans don't just survive, they terrify the galaxy. Before we dive deeper, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps us bring more cinematic HFY stories straight to your feed. Alright, let's uncover what really happened that day, when one woman turned vengeance into legend. The metallic chamber thrummed with energy. Blue lights pulsed along the walls, reflecting off the alien soldier's armor, scales that shimmered like liquid steel. At the center stood a single chair, reinforced with energy restraints designed for war criminals. In that chair sat a human woman. Her wrists were bound, but her back was straight. Her face, calm, unreadable. Even bruised, even bloodied, she carried herself with something alien to them. Defiance. The alien general paced slowly before her, his clawed feet clanging against the floor. His armor was gilded, each plate etched with battle scars. This was General Karthus, commander of the Zor-Ak Dominion, a race that had crushed empires and burned planets without a second thought. And yet today, he looked almost curious. "You entered restricted space alone," he hissed, voice vibrating like a machine grinding metal. "You destroyed 3 of our patrol ships with human technology. Primitive scrap. Explain how." The woman raised her head slightly. A cut on her lip bled as she spoke, voice low but steady. "Because you killed my brother." The chamber went silent. Dozens of alien officers exchanged glances. The general blinked, his jaw muscles twitching. "Your brother?" Her eyes met his. They were the kind of eyes that remembered fire, that carried ghosts. "Captain Hana Joon." A murmur rippled through the room. The name was infamous. Hana Joon, the human fleet captain who single-handedly held the line at the Siege of Karth Prime, buying the evacuation fleet 10 more minutes before the Zorak fleet obliterated his ship. He'd been declared dead, a symbol of human defiance. Karthus leaned in, sneering. "Ah, that one, a valiant fool." His final scream was, "Cut off when you bombarded a hospital," she interrupted sharply. That silenced him. For a moment, only the low hum of the ship's engines filled the air. Then Karthus laughed, that hollow, mechanical kind of laughter that didn't reach the eyes. "You think your pain makes you dangerous? You are a human female, alone, unarmed, surrounded." He gestured to the guards. Plasma rifles clicked in unison. "You are nothing here." Her lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. "Funny. My brother said the same thing once. About you." Karthus's laughter stopped. Something in her tone, that CLM unflinching certainty, made even the air feel heavier. The woman tilted her head, studying the general like a scientist observing a specimen. "You really don't know, do you?" "Know what?" he snapped. She leaned back, eyes half-lidded. "What happens when you kill a human's family?" Outside the ship, in the black void of orbit, something flickered. A distortion, a ripple in space itself. Inside, the alien officers' screens began flashing red. Warning symbols appeared in cascading lines of alien text. "Sir, unidentified energy spike. Coordinates, here." Karthus turned, confused. "That's impossible. No ship can—" Then the void tore open. A shadow emerged. Massive, angular, silent. It wasn't a ship in the traditional sense. It was a weaponized ghost. A human stealth dreadnought, long thought destroyed. Its hull bore one name, faint but unmistakable. HSS Revenant. Earthus froze. That ship was annihilated at Karth Prime. That's what we wanted you to think, she said softly. Every console in the room flickered. The gravity field began to tremble. The alien guards shouted, weapons raised, but the woman simply sat still, her gaze locked on the general. You asked who I am, she whispered. I'm his sister. Her restraints suddenly released with a click. The guards fired but the bolts never reached her. They bent midair, dissipating in a crackle of blue energy. The floor lit up with sigils. Old Earth tech fused with something new, something terrifying. And I'm your death. The dreadnought outside powered up its main rail cannon, a weapon banned by every galactic treaty for its gravitational side effects. Its firing charge began to distort the nearby moons. Inside, the alien general shouted orders. Shields up. Fire! Fire! But it was too late. The woman stood, her figure framed by the flickering lights of the collapsing war room. For my brother. For humanity. And with that, she vanished, teleported in a burst of white light, just as the HSS Revenant fired. The beam didn't just strike, it erased. Half the orbital command vanished in silence like dust swallowed by sunlight. The last thing Karthus saw before the explosion took him was that human smile. Calm, unforgiving, eternal. Because in that moment, he understood something every alien eventually learns. Humans don't start wars. They finish them. When the blast faded, space fell eerily silent. Debris shimmered where the Zorak flagship once floated. Fragments of armor, burning atmosphere, and shattered pride. From afar, the HSS Revenant drifted like a ghost through the wreckage, its engines pulsing faintly blue. Inside the bridge, alarms echoed, but the crew moved with focused precision. Every console glowed crimson, yet no one panicked. They'd been waiting for this day. And at the center stood Commander Hana Joon, sister of the fallen hero, Captain Han Joon. Her expression was unreadable as she watched the tactical feed. The alien general's fleet was gone, but the Dominion still lived. Damage report, she said calmly. Minor hull fractures, plasma coil stable, gravity core at 84% efficiency, her lieutenant replied. They never even got a shot off. Good, Hana murmured. That's for him. She turned to the viewport, eyes narrowing at the distant stars. Out there, somewhere, lay the heart of the Dominion, a world that had feasted on fear, enslaved planets, and called humans animals. Hat was about to change. The ship's AI, voice calm, almost human, spoke through the intercom. Commander, encrypted message received from Earth Command. Priority Alpha. They request confirmation of strike success. Hana hesitated, fingers brushing over the controls. Tell them, it's done. The general's gone, but the war isn't. There was a pause. Then the AI said softly, Captain Han would be proud. For the first time in days, her mask cracked. Her voice faltered just slightly. He better be. I stole his ship. A faint chuckle rippled through the crew. Even in grief, humans found humor. The kind of humor that survived the impossible. Outside, the Revenant adjusted course, but not to retreat. Instead, its engines flared brighter, angling toward the Dominion's nearest stronghold. Wait, the lieutenant said, alarmed. You're going after their capital? That's suicide. Hana looked over her shoulder, one brow raised. No, that's justice. The ship surged forward. Gravity waves rippled behind it. The Dominion's sensors lit up across multiple systems. One human dreadnought charging straight into their core worlds. Every alien commander scrambled ships, screamed orders, prayed to gods who'd never heard of Earth. Hana's voice came over the comms, broadcast wide across Dominion frequencies. This is Commander Hana Joon of the United Terran Fleet. You thought we'd break when you killed him. You thought humans only knew fear, but you were wrong. He paused, then smiled faintly, that same haunting smile her brother once wore. We don't fear extinction. We remember it. And we come back stronger every time. Then she gave the final order. Revenant, show them what humanity learned from loss. The ship's core opened like an eye, and the stars themselves seemed to recoil. From its heart came a pulse, Silent, blue, perfect. It wasn't a weapon of destruction, it was correction. The pulse spread, a controlled wave of folded spacetime that stripped Dominion ships of power, rendering their technology useless. Weapons shut down, engines died. In one instant, the galaxy's most feared fleet went dark. The Zorak generals screamed across comm channels. "What is this? What have they done?" And far above their world, Hana answered, her voice transmitted across every frequency. "You asked who I was. You called me a ghost, a mistake, a fragile thing of flesh, but I'm none of those. I'm his sister." Her eyes hardened. "And your reckoning?" Then she cut the transmission and disappeared into FTL, leaving behind silence, awe, and the collapse of an empire. In the aftermath, the Galactic Archives would mark this event as the Revenant Echo, the day a single human dreadnought silenced 1,000 worlds without firing a second shot. But among humans, the story was simpler. It was about a promise kept, a sister who refused to let her brother's name fade into dust. Because in humanity's long history, every tragedy births something unstoppable, and the galaxy had just learned, you can defeat a human army but never a human heart. And that was the day vengeance spoke through a sister's smile. What do you think, traveler? Would you have done the same, risked everything for the one you lost? Or do you think vengeance only breeds more war? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you felt the chill when she said, "I'm his sister," and your death, then you already know. Humanity's stories are never just about survival. They're about spirit. About that quiet, unbreakable spark that makes us impossible to erase. So if this story made your heart race even a little, hit like, subscribe, and share to keep this channel alive and growing. Your support fuels every story, every moment of humanity. Yeah. And remember, in the darkness between stars, when every other race forgets what hope feels like, humanity remembers. We are the echo that never fades. We are the storm they never see coming. We are legend,